Para sa video na ito, tatalakayin natin ang aralin tungkol sa measures of variability for ungrouped data. At the end of this video, you shall be able to illustrate measures of variability such as range, average deviation, variance, and standard deviation of a statistical data, and calculate the measures of variability of ungrouped data. Now let us begin by defining measures of variability. A measure of variability of a set of data is a number that conveys the idea of the spread for the dataset. These are range, mean absolute deviation, variance, and standard deviation. Isa-isahin natin ang mga ito. Let us begin with range. Range is the distance between the largest and the smallest values, and as such, gives an idea of the spread of dataset. This is given by the formula highest value minus lowest value. For example, let us find the range of the ages of sample television news anchors, which are 41, 42, 48, 45, 51, 40, 38, 40, 37, 43, and 44. In the set of data, 51 is the highest value and 37 is the lowest value. Now to find range, we just simply subtract the highest value, which is 51, and the lowest value, which is 37. Therefore, 51 minus 37 is equal to 14. This gives us that the range of the ages of the sample television news anchors is 14. Next, we have the mean absolute deviation. Mean absolute deviation tells how close the values in a dataset to the mean, or how far on average all values are from the middle. To find the mean absolute deviation, there are steps that we should follow. Step 1. Find the mean of a dataset. Step 2. Find the distance of each value from the mean, or absolute difference of the mean to each dataset, ignoring the negative sign. Step 3. Take the mean of the absolute deviation by using this formula, where x is the individual values in the dataset, x bar is the mean in the set of data, and summation of the absolute difference of x and the mean is the total of all absolute differences of the individual values and the mean. And n is the number of values in the dataset. Now let's try an example. Let us determine the mean absolute deviation of 6, 7, 9, 11, and 12. So to do this, let's follow the step-by-step procedure. Step 1. Let's find the mean. So, 6 plus 7 plus 9 plus 11 plus 12 all over 5 is equal to 45 over 5. So 45 divided by 5, the result is 9. Step 2. Let us construct a table listing all the individual values on the first column. From here, we could say that n is equal to 5 since there are 5 individual values. Then, we plug in the value of the mean on the second column, which is a result of our step 1. From here, let us find the absolute difference of the individual values and the mean. So, the absolute difference of 6 and 9 is 3, absolute difference of 7 and 9 is 2, absolute difference of 9 and 9 is 0, absolute difference of 11 and 9 is 2, and the absolute difference of 12 and 9 is 3. From here, let us find the sum of the absolute differences of each individual values and the mean. So, 3 plus 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 3 is equal to 10. Step 3. Using the formula for mean absolute deviation, we simply substitute the value of the summation of the absolute differences of the individual values and the mean, which is 10, and n, which is 5. So, 10 divided by 5 is equal to 2. Therefore, the mean absolute deviation from our dataset is equal to 2. Next, let's have variance. Variance is the average of the square deviations from the mean. It is the square of the standard deviation and denoted by this symbol. while standard deviation is the measure of how spread out numbers are. The standard deviation is the square root of the variance. The standard deviation is denoted by this symbol. So there are steps in finding the standard deviation. Step 1, find the mean of a dataset. Step 2, find the distance of each value from the mean or the difference of the mean to each dataset. Step 3, square the difference of the mean to each dataset. And step 4, take the variance by getting the mean of those differences by dividing the sum of squared difference of the mean to each dataset by the number of values in a dataset. And step 5, compute the standard deviation by taking the square root of the variance. Now, variance and standard deviation are given by this formula, where this symbol is the symbol for variance, x is the individual values in the dataset, x bar is the mean in the set of data, summation of the squared difference of x and x bar is the total of all the squared difference of individual values and the mean, and n is the number of values in the dataset. Para higit nating maunawaan ito, let's have an example. Let us determine the variance and standard deviation of the data 2, 1, 4, 2, 6. So, step 1, let's find the mean. 2 plus 1 plus 4 plus 2 plus 6 all over 5 is equal to 15 over 5. So, 15 divided by 5 gives us 3. Step 2, let us construct a table listing all the individual values on the first column. From here, we could say that n is equal to 5 since there are 5 individual values. Then, we write the value of the mean on the second column, which is a result of our step 1. Next, let us find the difference of each individual value and the mean for the third column. So, 1 minus 3 is negative 2, 2 minus 3 is negative 1, 4 minus 3 is 1, and 6 minus 3 is 3. From here, let us square the value of the third column and write it on our fourth column. So, negative 2 squared is 4, negative 1 squared is 1, 1 squared is 1, and 3 squared is 9. Afterwards, let's find the sum of the squared difference of the individual values and the mean. So, 4 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 9 is equal to 16. Now, step 3. From the result of step 2, let us find the variance and standard deviation, where n is equal to 5 and summation of the squared difference of x and the mean is 16. Now, by substitution, variance is equal to 16 all over 5. So, 16 divided by 5 gives us 3 and 2/10. And for standard deviation, we will just take the square root of the variance. So, the standard deviation is the square root of 16 divided by 5 or the square root of 3 and 2/10, or 1 and 79/100. That's all for this video. Thank you for watching and stay tuned for the next virtual instruction.